This is Tartarus, the labyrinth that reveals itself during the dark hour.
Labyrinth? What are you talking about? What happened to our school?
Once the dark hour passes, everything returns to normal.
This is the nest you were talking about? But why? Why'd our school turn into a giant tower? You don't know either?
No.
I'm sure it's complicated. Who cares anyway? It's not like it would change our minds about fighting.
Well, maybe now we'll find out. Mitsuru and I have only gone in to take a peek. This'll be our first time exploring it. Exciting, isn't it? There has to be some sort of clue in here about the Dark Hour.
Akihiko, I respect your enthusiasm, but you won't be accompanying us today.
I know, you don't have to remind me.
Whoa, it's just as cool on the inside.
But it sure is creepy.
This is only the entrance. The labyrinth lies beyond the doorway at the top of the stairs.
First we'll have you three get a feel for this place. Why don't you go have a look around?
What? By ourselves?
We're not asking you to go very far. And I'll be feeding you information from here.
So you two didn't plan on coming in the first place?
That's right. We're also going to appoint a leader to make any necessary decisions.
For real? One of us? Oh, me, pick me!
You're in charge.
But wait, why him? He doesn't look like a leader.
But he has fought them before.
Seriously?
That's true, but there's another reason. You two. Can you summon your persona without any difficulties like he can?
Yeah, of course I can.
I think so.
These are shadows we're talking about here. Without your persona, you're screwed.
I'm aware of that.
I've been waiting for you. The time has come for you to wield your power. The tower that you are about to venture into. How did it come to be? For what purpose does it exist? Regrettably, you are not yet capable of answering these questions. That is why you must be made aware of the nature of your power. It leads here, although no one but you can see it. Your power is unique. It's like the number 0. It's empty, but at the same time holds infinite possibilities. You, my boy, are able to possess multiple personas and summon them as needed. And when you have defeated your enemies, you will see the faces of possibility before you. There may be times when they are difficult to grasp, but do not fear. Seize what you have earned. Your power will grow accordingly. Be sure to keep that in mind. My spare time will soon be scarce. But please, come again of your own accord. I'll tell you then about my true role, the manner in which I can best assist you. Until then, farewell.
Hey, are you all right?
Yeah, what's up? You look like a zombie. Don't tell me you just dozed off. You're like that coach who fell asleep during the championship game. Come on, man. You're supposed to be our leader.
Cut him some slack. If nothing's wrong, then let's get going.
Alright. So now, this yellow glowing clock over here, that is our save point whenever we are in Tartarus. And by pressing triangle, we're able to check our status, our persona, our items that we may have, which the game starts us out with none. Good game. Nice way to start us off. And whatever skills we have, which we have Agi and Bash. I'll explain more about those in a moment. Equipment, status, S-links, etc. All that good stuff. So now, it's time for us to start the exploration of Tartarus. Hell yeah, we're ready. Let's go. Tartarus Block 1.
So, this is it, huh?
I hope I don't get lost.
Can you all hear me?
Whoa, is that you, Senpai?
I'll be providing audio backup from here on out.
Wait, you mean you can see inside here?
It's my persona's ability. I'd like to join you, but the structure of Tartarus changes from day to day. That's why outside support is imperative.
Well, that makes me feel a whole lot better.
Now, based on your current location, you can expect to encounter enemies at any minute. They shouldn't be too tough, but proceed with caution. Practice makes perfect.
Right.
Got it. Why is she always like that?
Alright, so now we have entered the second aspect of the Persona game. The first aspect, as you saw, was the whole like kind of school-based thing or day-to-day lives. But now, Persona's dungeon crawler aspect comes into play. So now, basically what just happened is, but it just explained to us that by hitting the X button, we can strike. When we see when we see shadows out in the field, if we strike them before they see us, we will get a player advantage, which will give us an advantage entering the battle. Unfortunately, that shadow saw us, so we just get a neutral
Takaba
advantage.
has informed me about your power, but nevertheless, you have minimal combat experience. Would you like me to explain the basics of battle?
Sure, do my job for me, Mitsuru.
The primary offensive options available to you in battle are attack and skill. Attack corresponds to the weapon you've equipped, while skill relates to your persona's abilities. Those skills consume either stamina or spiritual power. They tend to have a greater effect. Use whichever option best suits the situation. Keep attacking until you've defeated the enemy, but pay careful attention to your stamina. That's it for now. Did you get all that? Okay, then I want you to defeat the enemy before you. Try using both the skill and attack options.
Alright, where we'll put Mitsuru. So, we can just do normal attacks, which correspond to whatever weapon we have, which I believe we have a short sword right now. And we can use skill which pertain to our persona. So we have the abilities Bash and Agi. Now Bash is a physical ability, and all physical abilities in the game will consume a percentage of your maximum HP to cast. So early game, it's going to start with like 8%. Later, they're going to be like 25%. So you have to be really careful when using those type of abilities. Agi is a spell. It's a magical ability. Magical abilities consume your SP, which is your lower bar. You see below. God, I can't talk right now. You'll see those below everyone's character icons. Now, here, this command is Tactics. Now, you do not have control of your party members. So, if you want them to do certain things, you have to change your tactics. For now, I'm going to leave them on act freely because right now this really doesn't matter. So, let's start by just smacking this thing a couple times. And Junpei with a very nice cleave. Now, as I just said previously, we don't have control of our party members.
Stunning victory.
Junpei and Yukari just moved on their own. That went well. So now we have to venture around the battlefield, and we have to eliminate all the shadows. Now, when normally traveling around Tartarus in future, our objective will be to get to the staircase and advance as many floors as possible. However, the game does not want us to do that just yet because we're just trying to find some shadows and beat up on them. So, this time we're going to try and get a player advantage. Doesn't see me, and bam, player advantage. Oh!
Now's a good time for me to explain about attack properties, which are important to consider during battle. Do you want to know more?
You know what, Mitsuru? Go ahead.
Nearly every type of attack is associated with a particular property. For example, swords can be used to do slash attacks, while bows are used to do pierce attacks. Skills, on the other hand, have different properties. Bufu, for instance, indicates an ice attack. Now, most enemies are vulnerable to certain types of attacks. In other words, they have weaknesses. A fire skill will deal greater damage to an enemy that's weak against fire. With my power, I can analyze an enemy to determine its weaknesses and strengths. That falls under tactics.
Alright, thank you once again, Mitsuru. So,
Do you follow?
yes, we follow you.
The enemies we're facing have a weakness that you can exploit. Why don't you give it a try?
Alright, so all enemies have weaknesses, so you can exploit those weaknesses to deal increased damage to that enemy, as well as knock these enemies down. I'm pretty sure this enemy is weak to Agi, so we're gonna hit it with the Agi spell. Yep, he's weak. Now, what happens is when you hit an enemy with his weakness, you get a one more. One more allows you to attack one more time in a row. If you attack the same enemy that's knocked down with his weakness again, you won't receive an additional one more, however. But I'm just gonna Agi him one more time for now.
One more.
And he's gone. Oh.
Last one!
The enemy's weakness is fire.
Alright, Junpei, how much damage can you do to this bad boy? Ooh, that cleave actually hurt pretty badly on it. Nice. So, one more Agi, and this should take him out.
Keep up the good work.
And that was nicely done. Pretty well done. So, as you can see, there are many different properties. There are 3 different physical attack properties, which is Pierce, Strike, and Slash. As well as there are 6 magic properties, which, if I remember correctly, it's Fire, Ice, Electricity, Wind, Light, and Darkness. Alright, so Mitsuru just explained that we can use the map to help us find shadows and be more careful, so that we can carefully go in for the attacks on shadows.
Were you able to exploit the enemy's weakness in the last battle? If you didn't already notice, doing so will also grant you an additional attack. Would you like more details?
Sure, Mitsuru. You're doing a good job.
An enemy will lose its balance if you exploit its weakness or land a critical hit. This will give you the opportunity to perform an additional action. In other words, you'll get to do one more thing. You can keep attacking the same enemy, or if you prefer, attack a different target. And if you succeed in knocking another enemy off balance, then you can act yet again. Which means you can remain on the offensive for as long as you can keep this up. This strategy is essential to securing victory. However, remember this. An enemy that's already lost its balance cannot be knocked off balance again. You can't knock down someone who's lying on the ground, right? It's the same idea. Now, to knock an enemy off balance, you need to know its weaknesses, so don't hesitate to ask me for an analysis. I'll be sure to share the results with the others as well. Got it?
Yep.
Then proceed with the battle. Use what you've learned to quickly dispose of the enemy.
Alright, so it is a very good idea to analyze enemies, because if your party members don't know what an enemy is weak to, or resists, or reflects in some cases, they will continue to beat the crap out of the enemies for no reason. And they will heal enemies or hurt themselves, etc. So, we're gonna hit this first one with an Agi. And last time you saw me, I attacked the same enemy twice, right? Let's attack a different enemy this time. Bam. Agi number 2.
A wisely chosen attack.
And one more. So let's hit the third one. And all the enemies will be knocked down.
You exploited the enemy's weakness. Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
Okay, so if you knock down all enemies, one of your party members will call for your team to perform an all-out attack. By doing so, you will rush in, and everyone will beat the living crap out of the enemies. Many enemies don't take much damage from anything except for all-out attacks, so they are really good for dealing a lot of damage to your enemies. So you really want to take advantage of that. Now, this is shuffle time. Basically, what's going to happen is these cards in front of us are going to shuffle around, and we get to pick one to keep. Now, the one to the far left, is a persona. So I'm going to actually try to grab that one. So I'm just going to pay attention to that card. And it's right here. We have chosen the persona card Pixie. And Pixie has been welcomed into our heart. And we leveled up. Very nice. Now we are able to create personas up to level 3. It's very nice that we have the Pixie.
Yes! My
Hey look, Yukari leveled up, apparently. So, now we must continue to explore. There are also chests on the floor as you just saw me grab something out of. Look like little silver briefcase thingies. Okay. So thank you for explaining that, Mitsuru. Basically, if anyone's low on health, you can heal them using healing items, or we can talk to Yukari, because Yukari's only spell as of right now is the healing spell Dia. Now, you will notice that all the spells in this game have kind of weird names, with the exception of the physical spells. It's kind of tough to memorize what everything is at first, but it gets relatively easier as you play. Alright.
There is a better way to defeat all of your enemies in battle than to attack them individually. You can perform an all-out attack. Would you care to hear more about this?
Sure, Mitsuru. Even though I already explained it, go ahead, girl.
When enemies are thrown off balance, they become vulnerable. An all-out attack will allow your entire team to attack simultaneously. Your enemies will be unable to defend against it. It's a very reliable method of attack. Whether or not you want to perform an all-out attack is up to you. But remember, you cannot perform it when you're alone. So if you want to have it in your arsenal, make sure your team's comprised of at least 2 members. That's all you need to know about all-out attacks. Do you understand what I've just explained to you?
Mm-hmm.
Then, that concludes the basics of battle. But there's one last thing I need to tell you. Shadows become stronger the further you advance. If you don't think you can win a battle, retreat at once. There may be times, however, when an escape will be impossible. This battle is one of those times. Good luck.
Alright, so Mitsuru just explained all-out attack. And yeah, so that's basically everything we need to know about battling in this game. Now, Agi is a fire spell. Just in case you couldn't tell. The other 5 elements would be our Bufu, which represents ice, Zio, which represents electricity, Daru, which are your wind spells, Hama, which is your light spells, and Mudo, which is dark. Hama and Mudo, there we go, can't tell correctly. We'll be getting those later in the game, and those are actually insta-kill spells with very low hit percentages, unless an enemy is weak to them.
You struck the enemy's weak
So,
Here's a chance. Let's get him. Get back here, you son of a...
I just love hearing Junpei say that. So, we're going for all out attack, and we wipe out the enemies.
have the potential to grow even stronger.
Getting no shuffle time. We already have a Pixie, and you cannot grab 2 of the same persona. So I'm going to grab the other card, which I believe is here. This is the coin. The coin gives you increased money. And we got a Snuff Soul. Very nice.
Yes! My skill level has increased.
Ta-da-da-da.
Alright, so basically at this point we've what's it called? We've defeated all the shadows, so now we're gonna split up the party to try and look for the access point to get back to the beginning. Yep, and we found the access point. Let's just keep going for a moment even though we found it.
Okay,
In case
then I'll look around
Junpei...
Woot! Check out my fat loot.
Oh, Junpei found something awesome. So now since I know the access point is, I'm actually gonna call everyone back.
Everyone, return to the leader.
I typically don't like splitting up my party ever because I feel like that can get really dangerous, but you know what? That's fine. You're doing a good job. So now it's time to return to the entrance. And we obtained a medicine. Nice.
Welcome back. So, how was it? I see. Well, if you gained confidence, that's the best thing you could have achieved.
Wow, I never knew I had that kind of power. We kicked some ass. But damn, I'm beat.
That's because you were bouncing around like a little kid.
Yeah, you look pretty tired yourself, Yucatan.
I'm still trying to catch my breath, actually.
That's the effect of the dark hour. You'll become fatigued more easily. Don't worry though, you'll adapt. But I'm surprised. You all did much better than I expected. At this rate, they'll catch up to you in no time, Akihiko.
We'll see about that.
And at that, our first social link with the Seas Shadow Extermination Team has ranked up from level 1 to level 2. Our power to create personas to the full arcana has grown. I wonder what the hell that means. So, at that, since we can no longer really do anything, I'm going to come over here. And we're going to save. So, next episode, we'll be continuing onward. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, and please subscribe. See you next time.